Hello, family. Let's talk about incontinence today. I visited the family caregivers last week who were struggling, frustrated with taking care of a loved one who is incontinent. And I decided to come today to just share tips on how we can go about this, how we can manage someone who is incontinent. What is actually incontinent? What is incontinence? This is just loss of bladder control. And I believe most, if not all of us, have loved ones going through the same situation, and we are wondering how to go through it with ease, happily, without any conflict between you and your loved one. Incontinence can be very uncomfortable, messy, or even embarrassing for caregivers because they do all to minimize those accidents and clean up the messes. So the whole process is usually very, very stressful. To reduce the stress for you and your loved ones, I will be sharing some tips on how you can go through this comfortably without any stress, doing it happily and just taking it as a normal day-to-day care for your loved one. But before I get there, I just want to welcome you all to Aging Happily with Hilda. It's quite amazing spending this beautiful moment with you again. And I want to thank you all for stopping by to grab some of these tips, some of these health aging tips, so that together we can positively impact the community. And please like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for subsequent videos if this is your first time. I would really, really appreciate it. And I would like you to leave comments in the comments section below. Just share your own tips on how you go about incontinence, how to manage someone who is suffering from incontinence, so we all can benefit from it. Just for clarification, incontinence can either be lack of voluntary control over urination or defecation. But today I want us to dwell more on urination just to make things clear out there. And yes, let's dive into those tips that can enable us to look after our loved ones suffering from incontinence, urinary incontinence to be specific. The first thing you want to do is to reach out to your doctor, to the family physician. There is this popular misconception that incontinence is part of aging. Often it's not the case because sometimes treatable medical conditions can actually trigger incontinence, things like UTI. So if you notice ongoing signs of incontinence, that should be a trigger for you to step up right away and reach out to your family physician so they can figure out what is going on. Because if it is UTI, for example, it is very treatable and your loved one is going to come back normal. He or she will not suffer from that incontinence any longer. Secondly, you want to watch out for certain foods and drinks that your loved one is consuming because they can actually trigger incontinence without you even knowing. Things like coffee, tea, carbonated drinks, spicy food, alcohol, chocolate, tomatoes, and tomatoes based products. So many things, but you don't know. And these are things that can actually be causing incontinence with your loved one. One thing that you want to know here is that systems are different. So the way these foods or drinks will actually affect someone's system is different from others. So you want to take this to your own case. Look, if these are things that your loved one is consuming, then you want to try to be reducing some. Reduce and see if actually it is going to minimize the risks of incontinence. And when you notice that, it's actually a good guide for you to know subsequently what to give or not to give to your loved one. That is a great way to minimize any accidents. Not to forget acidic fruits like oranges, lemon, limes, grapefruits. All these are things that trigger incontinence. And if all these are things that your loved ones really love to consume, try to encourage them to drink adequate water instead and minimize the consumption of these foods and drinks. Another great tip is to stick to bathroom schedule. Trust me, a regular daily routine for your loved one, especially the older adults, people who are confused, those who are suffering from mental illnesses like dementia, you want to maintain or stick to a regular schedule. You could try things out. Let them use the washroom maybe 2 or 4 times a day or intervals of an hour or two. Just try things out, try things to see what is best for them. That way, it is actually going to make you have control over that incontinence, and it's giving you some time also to rest and be able to look after them, even if the accidents continue to happen. And soon your loved one's body will get used to that schedule, and automatically it's going to reduce the chances of incontinence, and you all are going to be having fun. The fourth thing you want to do for your loved one is to waterproof the mattress, sofa, and chairs. Cleaning is a very huge thing when it comes to incontinence, because those accidents leave smelly mess on the cloths, the beddings, the mattress, the sofa, the chairs, and the bed. It can be very easy to clean those dresses, the beddings. What about the mattress, the chairs? They are so cumbersome to take care of. So you want to be proactive. You want to take a step ahead to minimize that stress on you when the accidents actually occur. The fifth thing is for you guys to bring humor to diffuse any anxiety and embarrassment. Yes, it sounds funny, but it works. Incontinence comes with shame, comes with embarrassment, and the stress is for you both, you, the caregiver, and your loved one. So if you try to take it as a normal process, bringing in that humor is actually going to ease some tension and reassure your loved one to know that he or she is not the only one suffering from that. There are so many ways you can actually handle this or say things out. Just telling your loved one, for example, that, oh, mom or dad, it is okay. It is okay. You are not the only one in this. I'm just going to clean you up nicely and put on those nice clothes, make you comfortable. It is actually going to ease that tension and make your loved one to be happy, not to feel embarrassed each time he or she is having that accident or has an accident. Another tip, guys, is to have an incontinence care kit on hand. Accidents do occur, and you are not supposed to be prisoners. You and your loved ones are not supposed to be prisoners because your loved one is incontinent. That's not the case. You can actually live a normal life like every other person. Just to take extra precaution, it's good for you to take a step ahead. Get things ready when those accidents do occur. Have an extra brief handy, change of clothes, a pair of socks, a pad, just in case you find yourself in that situation while out of home. You should be able to better handle it without any stress. You can't be prisoners because you are taking care of someone who is suffering from incontinence. Another tip is to choose clothing that's easy to change and launder. To reduce accidents and make incontinence easier, it is time for you to update the wardrobe of your loved ones when you start to notice those signs of incontinence. It is good to know that certain clothes, like if they are so tough to get on or off, it can actually cause those accidents. And sometimes it's very difficult to clean them up after. Try as much as possible to look or make a good choice when it comes to clothing with your loved ones who he or she is suffering from that urinary incontinence. Also, you want to get rid of the odor. This is one of the things that drive most caregivers crazy. So to be comfortable in that environment, get something like air sanitizer, odor reducer that you can just spray around to have the whole environment fresh so you yourself will feel comfortable in it or doing care for your loved one. The last but most important tip is to get help from professionals. Yes, incontinence care can be very, very challenging, especially for family caregivers. So it is always advisable to get an in-home care provider that can step in to help you, to support you with personal hygiene for your loved one, just to help you get some time for yourself and be able to continue to connect with your loved one if your loved one has an accident. Yay, I've come to the end of this video, beautiful people. And please, I would like you to share your own thoughts on how you go about incontinence care for your loved one in the comments section. I would really, really appreciate it. And please don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Make sure you hit the notification button so you don't miss out on any of these tips in the subsequent days. I look forward to seeing you in my next video. God bless you all.